and welcome to this week's Mason Cable News broadcast. I'm Leandra Jones.
And I'm Aaron Wilson.
Well, time is winding down, graduates. There are 3 weeks left until Grad Fest, which means it's time for you to go to your advisor and figure out the difference between convocation and commencement, because there is a difference. Also, there is still time to purchase your yearbook, so go to www.osmg.gnu.edu and click GM View for more information on that. And if you're still on the fence about what you're doing when you graduate, go to Career Services and get your future started.
Well, are you excited for graduation?
I'm extremely excited, but at the same time, looking for a job is what I'm doing right now. It's a little difficult.
Well, yeah, so what's your next move after that?
Probably gonna go back home, live off the land of my parents for just a little bit, and then I'll end up moving out on my own and getting that job that I so desperately want.
Fair enough indeed. Well, for those of you at home, if you did not know, Mason Day is this Friday. That's right, this Friday is Mason Day, and we will be celebrating the 50th year of the glorious Mason Day. It will take place in Lot L from 2 to 10 p.m., and there will be free food, prizes, and rides. Mason Day is free for students and $10 for outside guests. And this year's musical guest is none other than Jesse McCartney. He will take the stage at 8 p.m. He will take the stage at 8 p.m. and this event is free for all.
Great. Well, we will be right back after this short commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome again to this week's edition of the Weekly Prescription. I'm Aaron Wilson, and this week we'll be discussing a condition called hypertension, which is commonly referred to as high blood pressure. The Mayo Clinic defines hypertension as a common condition in which the force of the blood against the artery walls is high enough that it may eventually cause health problems, such as heart disease. A person's blood pressure is determined by the amount of blood the heart pumps and the amount of resistance to blood flow within the arteries. Essentially, this means that the more blood the heart pumps and the more narrow the arteries are, the higher a person's blood pressure is likely to be. A person can have high blood pressure for many years and be asymptomatic, meaning they do not feel the signs of the development of high blood pressure. However, even when a person is asymptomatic, damage to the blood vessels can occur and put a person at serious health risks, including things like heart attack and stroke. Now let's discuss some of the symptoms of hypertension. Early symptoms can range from dull headaches to dizzy spells and more nosebleeds than normal. These symptoms will usually not occur until the blood pressure has reached a severe or life-threatening stage. Now, typically at a physical, a person starting at the age of 3 years old will have their blood pressure checked during their yearly physical. Now let's look at the normal range for a person's BP. The Mayo Clinic recommends that a person's BP levels be less than 150/90 millimeters of mercury for a healthy adult aged 60 years or older, and less than 140/90 for healthy adults less than 60 years of age. Now, if a person has chronic kidney disease or diabetes or even coronary artery disease, or even at risk for coronary artery disease, then their BP should also be less than 140/90 millimeters of mercury. Finally, let's dive into the treatment options for hypertension. Now, there are numerous types of treatments for hypertension, which include alpha blockers, alpha beta blockers, vasodilators, thiazide diuretics, and ACE inhibitors, amongst a much longer list of medications. For more information on hypertension and this topic in general, be sure to visit the Mayo Clinic's website at www.mayoclinic.org and search for hypertension. And with that will wrap it up for this week's edition of the Weekly Prescription. I'm Aaron Wilson, and I will see you all back here at my office, same time, same place, next week for our final appointment.
WGMU Radio on WGMURadio.com. Welcome to a special edition of the First
You
Pick.
will read. Jonah, it was a pleasure having you on the show today. Appreciate it.
I'm Ben Simpson on the phone today. We have Drew. How are you doing today, Drew? I mean, you're kind of what made you decide to write a book about them?
You know, it wasn't my...
You're out in Maryland, right?
I am. I used to work with George Mason people that way.
To promote the book as much as possible. We're here around campus.
Thanks, dude.
All right, have a great one.
You will read. Jonah, it was a pleasure having you on the show today. Appreciate it. You're listening to WGMU Radio on WGMURadio.com.
Welcome back to Mason Cable News. I'm Aaron M. Wilson.
And I'm Leandra Jones.
Well, this week teens have been going crazy on social media with this Kylie Jenner lip challenge. Teens all over the world have started the hashtag Kylie Jenner lip challenge on Twitter to imitate the look of the reality TV star's lips. Now, Kylie has been under a lot of flame recently for having bigger lips, which made many people speculate this is the result of cosmetic surgery. Now, however, in a recent interview with Cosmopolitan magazine, Kylie denied all the rumors of surgery, saying her lips are the result of makeup tricks. However, teens have been bruising their lips by sucking into glass or plastic bottles to create a temporary plump lip for the Kylie Jenner lip challenge. Dr. Scott Glassberg of the American Society of Plastic Surgeons said, quote, that you are creating an injury to your lips. The challenge is pretty silly and irresponsible.
Well, at approximately 12:30 a.m. on Monday, more than 40 people were arrested in a sting near the West Imperial Highway in Los Angeles, police said. This was from, wait for it, a street racing bust conducted by the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. In a statement read by the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department Information Bureau, it said, quote, the operation included 44 arrests that ranged from warrant arrests to drug-related offenses, and that, quote, unlicensed drivers and those driving on a suspended license were also part of the 209 citations issued, in addition to the 54 vehicles that were towed. Street racing has been publicized as an ongoing problem for authorities in LA, officials said. This bust came 2 months after a speeding Mustang swerved into a crowd and killed 2 people in Los Angeles' Chatsworth neighborhood. The authorities are concerned that street racing will only increase, especially since the summer months are rapidly approaching. California Highway Patrol Officer Edgar Figueroa said, quote, anytime somebody gets killed as a result of something like this, we are going to do everything we can to crush this type of criminal activity.
Now, moving on to another interesting story. 39-year-old Boston Marathon runner Michael Malamed was the final person to cross the finish line on Boylston Street in Boston after a 20-hour-long journey from the starting line. Despite the day turning to night and drizzle turning to downpour, Malamed kept on going. The 39-year-old has muscular dystrophy, but that has not stopped him from competing in marathons across the nation in places like New York and Chicago, and even across the globe in Berlin and even Tokyo. Now, he finished the race at 4 a.m. This was long after many spectators departed for the day. However, there were a few fans still anxious to see the man that crossed the finish line because they wanted to meet him, actually, even though he kept on going during this 26.2 mile race.
Oh my gosh, 26.2 miles.
Yep, I've grown up hearing about the Boston Marathon my entire life, considering the fact that I'm from the area.
Oh yeah.
And I think I know a couple of people who've had to work the marathon at that time.
Well, see, working the marathon. I'm not
It's
running
busy.
the marathon.
It's very,
Not
very
doing it.
busy.
I have friends who've done, what was it, to Cherry Blossom Marathon here in DC.
There's a Cherry Blossom Marathon? I know there's Cherry Blossom Fest because I've been to the
Yeah, but what is there? There are so many. The Color Run, all those things. Maybe I should actually jump out on a limb. See if I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it, right? 26.2 miles. You believe in me, Aaron?
I believe in you.
Thank you. Stay tuned. Right after this short commercial break, Brent and Randall will give us our Mason Cable News Sports.
Hey Mason Nation, I am Brenton Randolph and this is your MCNews Sports Update. This past weekend, the baseball team stayed at home and played against Canisius College. The team won their game on Friday 7-4 and on Saturday 8-3. And yesterday, the team traveled to Harrisonburg to take on James Madison University, where they lost in a wild shootout by a score of 15-13. The team will, however, get a chance to redeem themselves this weekend at home again as they play against George Washington University in a 3-game series. This past weekend, the women's softball team was on fire as they won all of their games this weekend against Rhode Island. The final score on Sunday was 10-7, and on Saturday they won both of their doubleheader games 8-4 and 8-1. Liz Seymour was named the A10 Rookie of the Week this week for her performance against Rhode Island. She helped move the team up to 4th in the Atlantic 10 standings. Seymour has a team best of 33 runs scored for the season. This upcoming weekend, the team will host a doubleheader on Saturday against LaSalle and on Sunday for the series finale. The men's volleyball team lost to Harvard on Friday, but they did rebound to defeat Sacred Heart on Saturday, bringing their overall record to 12-12. Brian Negron has been named to the off-the-block freshman All-American team. That's a really cool name, by the way. He leads all freshmen in the nation in assists per set with 9.59. Negron is also second on George Mason with 55 blocks and has 59 kills. Mason's final 2 games are at home against Princeton and NJIT. After that, the EIVA tournament will begin on April 29th. The lacrosse team exploded this Friday against St. Bonaventure, doubling up the Bonnies 18-9. The Patriots had a balanced scoring effort as 13 different players scored at least 1 goal and were led by Melissa Lobacaro with 3. The win brings Mason to 9-5 on the season and ties them for 3rd in the Atlantic 10 standings. Mason's final home game is against George Washington, and whoever wins that game will have sole possession of 3rd place in the Atlantic 10. That'll do it for me, and now it's time to go to Nadine and Jerome for our infotainment news.
Welcome. You're in on all things happening in Fairfax and in just regular entertainment world in general. So if you're looking for something to do that's very common chill this weekend, then you gotta come on down to the Center for the Arts and see Pirates of Penzance. You know, Pirates of Penzance, or The Slave of Duty, is just this comic opera. And you know, as a girl, I just love comedy. It was written in 2 acts with music by Arthur Sullivan and libretto by W.S. Gilbert. The story concerns this guy named Frederick, who after completing his 21st year of life, is released from his apprenticeship to a band of tender-hearted pirates. He meets Mabel, the daughter of Major General Stanley, and the 2 young people fall instantly in love. Frederick finds out, however, that he was born on 29th of February, and so technically he only has a birthday like, you know, each leap year. His apprenticeship indenture states that he remains apprentice to the pirates until his 21st birthday, and so he must serve for another 63 years. Bound by his own sense of duty, Frederick's only solace is that Mabel just agrees to wait for him faithfully. And I think it's going to be a pretty good show. Performances are Friday, April 24th, 2015, and this Saturday, April 25th, 2015, both at 8 p.m. But there is a matinee showing at 2 p.m. on Saturday, April 25th, and April 26th is also at 3 p.m. on Sunday. So don't forget to make your way to just buy your ticket and have fun. And on Friday, April 24th, there will be a pre-performance discussion at 7:15 p.m. in the Coral Room. So, you know, like always, one free student ticket is available with a valid Mason ID. So, don't forget to go watch Pirates of Penzance this weekend. The tradition continues as student directors, dramaturgs, and actors present their fellow student writers' newest works in an intense 10-day process that culminates in a presentation that just shines light on all the storytellers of the next generation. So if you're not in the Center for the Arts, you can head over to Theater Space on April 24th, 2015 and April 25th, this Saturday at 8 p.m. as well. And there's also, again, a matinee showing on April 25th, Saturday at 2 p.m. General admission tickets are $15, but students, faculty, staff, seniors, and just other groups in general are only $10. Okay, so if you're not into theater, there are still a ton of other things to do in the Fairfax area, and this Saturday on April 25th, a Gaither Homecoming celebration is happening at the Patriot Center. The Gaither Vocal Band is just this American Southern gospel vocal group named after its founder and leader, Bill Gaither. As of February 2014, it consists of David Phelps, Wes Hampton, Adam Crabb, Todd Suttles, and the leader, Bill Gaither. Although the group started out recording contemporary Christian music in the 1980s, it's just become known for Southern gospel after the popularity of the Gaither Homecoming videos. There was a $5 discount off for seniors who were 60 years of age and older, and for children who were 2 to 12. So darn, I just missed it. $7 group discount is also available for groups of 15 plus. Doors open at 4:30 p.m. and the show starts at 6 p.m. So I suggest you go see Gaither Homecoming. On Friday, April 24th, well, tune your channels to ABC because Olympian Bruce Jenner is going to talk about his journey of self-discovery and about his family in a very up-close and personal interview with Diane Sora. And a new promo clip for this highly anticipated interview. You know, Bruce Jenner says that his family members are the only ones he's concerned about. And this is set to air once again this Friday on ABC. Jenner will discuss being transgender for the very first time. And he even says in the promo, "I can't let myself hurt them." Jenner will also appear to reflect on his years in the public eye, first as an athlete, then as a reality star, basically, in Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which I never get tired of. And he says, "It has made me who I am." ABC promises an in-depth and far-reaching interview, though the network has not said anything about Jenner's gender identity, so we'll just have to wait and see. Rather, the promo material touts his decisions for the future, his decisions now, and his journey that he's undergoing right now. Jenner says, "My whole life has been getting me ready for this." Bruce Jenner, the interview, airs 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, April 24th on ABC. So don't forget to tune your channels, Mason. Okay, now this is my favorite thing to talk about. There is a new app, and I know we're all about social media and we're all about the next big thing. I mean, for me, I use my app just to even calculate my GPA, but I found out there's a new app that helps erase offensive social media posts before future employers can see them. I mean, come on, that is definitely gonna help someone in the future, because we all know we have those pictures that we don't want them to see. After abruptly resigning from Jeb Bush's campaign over his offensive tweets, Ethan Zohar has invented an app that will stop his mistake from happening to anyone else. In February, Ethan Zohar resigned from his position as Jeb Bush's chief technology officer a day after he was hired, simply because old tweets of his that were considered sexist and homophobic surfaced. The 31-year-old is now putting his lesson to good use, so I guess he's paying it forward with his new app, Clear, which scans your posts on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for anything that could potentially just deter or anger employers. Clear flags data from your entire social media history based on keywords that include profanities, racial slurs, mentions of minority groups, general populations, or any comments that just might be a little too positive or negative. Sahur added that the app shouldn't prevent employers from identifying someone with a particularly offensive past, and that people's actions outside of social media will still reveal their true nature. And I definitely agree. So, how do you feel about Sahur's app, and do you think it will do harm, good, or something in the middle? Tweet your responses at Mason Cable News using the hashtag GMUClear. Well, that's all the news we have for right now. Once again, I'm Gina Jerome with you on the couch. Hello and goodbye, Mason Nation.
Well, seeing as though we have, a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks left for the semester, what do we got for finals?
Well, it depends on your professor, because I have professors who said that Tuesday of next week is our last class. And I was like, oh snap, that means I get a week off. But yeah, I think this year group projects are the big thing for my professors. Could be because of my major. I don't know.
Yeah, for me, I have one class that also ends on Tuesday, so that's going to be great. But I've also got 3 other exams. One's on music and the other 2 are on sports, so I'm really not worried.
True.
I'm gonna be just fine.
That's how you're supposed to end your senior year, man.
That's right.
Well, I have 3 more years, so see.
That's not bad. Actually, you have more time to.
It'll go by faster than you think.
I don't doubt you for a second. In terms of my finals, I have 2 finals. I have public speaking and then I have Western Civ. So next Tuesday is my last session with my professor. Mm-hmm. And at that same week, actually, my last paper is due for the semester for his class. Mm-hmm. So I have a week to do that, and then I have to do other stuff for public speaking. I actually have one more speech to give.
I think that's really interesting. I think
when
we talk about like the different assignments that professors have, I always wonder, do they really want to grade all of that? Like, do you really want to grade a 20-page paper?
And do you really want to grade a 15-paragraph essay that I also have to write for my government class?
What?
I mean, I feel like sometimes the professors just look through it and they're like, did you give X amount of effort on this?
Maybe.
Here we go.
I want to know how they grade because, way back when in high school, there were rubrics for each
rubrics.
year.
Yeah.
Like, you knew, because each class had to have a specific list of requirements.
We had rubrics. Okay, I'll tell you something. We had rubrics as early as middle school for me because we had this thing called a behavior rubric.
What's that?
We need that in college.
Okay, so kind of addressing that question, the behavior rubric is like a series of it's like these things that you do or whatever, and then there's like a first offense, a second offense, and a third offense. Mm-hmm. The third offense is generally like the worst type of consequence. I'm not even kidding. And
you don't get a gold star.
No, we didn't believe in gold stars. I don't know what you're talking about.
What is a star?
What is this madness?
I want my professors to give me a star. And when I come in and I'm engaged, because there are people who come to class every day, but they're on their phones the whole time. But they still get credit for showing up. And I'm like, I engage with you. Give me a gold star.
Yeah, like if I showed up on time and I raised my hand and I talked, that was some effort. That was effort.
Okay, I mean, like if you're saying that, you might as well ask for a lollipop and a stamp on the hand.
Absolutely, I want all of that. I paid enough money to get all of that. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
And so now, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and also like our Instagram page.
Oh yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to us on the YouTube. I said the YouTube. But yeah, YouTube Mason Cable Network. You get to see all of the past shows that have been broadcast on Channel 231. For Mason Cable News, I'm Leandra Jones.
I'm Brenton Randolph.
And I'm Aaron Wilson.
Bye, Mason.
Have a good night, guys.